Now, I want to jump into how this all plays into the black family structure, the black family structure. Because since we're talking about divide and conquer, what is this doing to the black family structure?
Well, we're the targeted ones, right? I hate to say this, but I mean, everybody's smart. Everybody got their own thing, right? Mm-hmm. But most of us come from nothing. Mm-hmm. So we already have this insatiable desire to be our best, to do our best, to work hard, develop work ethic, develop these principles. Mm-hmm. Most of us come up without a father. Mm-hmm. So this generation is like, we have to take care of our kids because we haven't had one.
That's right.
But the divide is so powerful into the girls because they came up without a father. Mm-hmm. So it's normal to them. Mm-hmm. We come up with something to prove. It's in us already. My daddy one now, I'm there for my kids.
Right. But I want to touch on that.
Talk to me.
As a brief pause. You know, yeah, a daughter can get used to not being around her father, but this is a big issue in why females are alike. And I'm not going to put them all in one basket, but a lot of the females out here are like this because they've never seen a strong father in their lives either. So when they're going out here getting in these relationships and stepping into marriage, they have no idea how to deal with a man because they've never seen this. So the divorce rates and all of this is getting so high now. You got a culture where everybody out here is cool with being side chicks because we're dealing with the dilemma of, you know, well, a female that didn't grow up with her father is now telling you, I got a daughter, you don't have to be in her life. I can raise her. I can do this on my own. She don't need no father. But you're overlooking the fact that generationally, you're destroying what we're talking about, the black family structure, because somebody at some point needs to see a strong male. And if you're going through 3-4 generations without these young girls seeing a strong male figure in their life, guess what's going to happen? The proof is in the pudding.
They're going to do exactly. People do what people do.
People do what people do, right? Now you got all of these Facebook models that's out here, insecure, thirst buckets that's just putting themselves out there online, looking to hook up with somebody. Just take a look at Instagram and what's going on out here. Half-naked chicks out here. They never seen no strong male figure in their life. Otherwise, somebody should have told you, hey, put some clothes on. Put some clothes on or I'm going, you know what I'm saying? Something should have happened there. But we look at this cycle of destruction. Either you're gonna go to work and become the boss chick at the job, making your 6 figures at the job, and then become this independent woman that say, I don't need no man that way, or I'm finna take this other route where I gotta show all my assets all online for millions of people to see just for me to get likes, so that now I have a sense of false security about myself. So while we're on the subject, that's another thing that I want to introduce. Women, just because it's not a young boy, these small female children need their fathers in their lives, because even though you're a woman and she's a girl, a lot of influence comes from being with her father, spending time with her father, having some type of male influence, impact in her life. That means a lot. And they need to see that if you want them to be productive young ladies in this world that ain't on the stripper pole, that ain't on Instagram showing all her stuff off, that ain't on all of these ratchet shows, Love and Hip Hop, and like Tipsky say all the time, you gotta have some class. And that comes from that relationship and that bond. So we're not being sex specific when we're talking about children needing their father.
I think it's universal, Anthony. I believe it's two things. From the woman's point of view, or the girl's point of view, a father needs to be there for discipline. And more so, they need to be able to see a figure that they can say, I don't want my husband to be like
That's
this.
it. That's
or
it.
I want my husband to be like this. Or here's some of the characteristics my dad has.
That's it.
And I can look for these characteristics in my significant other.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
But you take that all away, they have no idea. So they have this idea that's right. They're lost. Right? It's not an idea. And from a man's standpoint, a boy needs toughness.
Mm-hmm.
It needs to be roughed up and know, when they have these feminine tendencies, that we all just go through life as a little kid. We don't know. But a father needs to be able to say, no, that's not a man's thing. That's not what a boy needs to do.
Mm-hmm.
We all need it.
Mm-hmm.
And when you take that away, when you strip that away, because of your lack of knowledge,
Mm-hmm.
your lack of understanding what the human self's supposed to do from a woman or man standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
When you don't have that and you just disconnect a kid from the other,
Mm-hmm.
you in bad shape.
Mm-hmm. Because you get what's going on right now.
You in bad shape.
You get this alphabet people movement, and you get this, the scenario is being flipped now. It's becoming okay. They're talking about teaching about LGBTQ in schools now. They're talking about having a course on that. Not Black history. We gave them enough. They get 1 month. They finna teach a course in school, starting at early ages about LGBTQ, right? So the scenario is being flipped. It's okay, like you were just talking about with the man, and we know about this, and we subject matter experts on this because we're two black males that are sitting here,
Right.
and we know what it's like to be a young black boy. We know what it's like to be now men.
Absolutely.
And the influences that the males in our lives that they've had on us. I'll take an example that I talked about the other day. I was my sister. We were playing with Christmas toys. She was opening up her toys,
Mm-hmm.
and I picked up her Barbie doll and I was playing with it. My father seen that and said, snatched that thing out of my hand, gave me a nice swift one on the butt, and said, if I ever see you playing with a doll again, that'll be the end of that. Never picked up another one. See, that's the influences that's missing from the house that's turning this whole thing upside down, where people are coming out now and gonna tell me and you, as black men,
Right.
that were black boys at one point, that we knew we were gay. I knew I was gay from 3 and 6 years old.
Right.
That's what you want to tell me now?
Right.
So that's another piece that we're talking about here in the destruction of the black family.
Right.
They want to defeminize us.
Absolutely.
Because there's nothing more fearful than a black man that knows who he is and lets nothing stops him from achieving his goals, opens up his third eye, and out here they want to kill us. They want to put us in systems. All of this stuff that we're talking about, if they can't get you in, if they can't hook you up on a felony or get you trapped in a drug game or get you trapped over here in this system over here to get you on paper, so that now all employers have probable cause not to hire you now. Because now they got stipulations. Oh, if you got a felony on your background, we got to run a background check. And it can have nothing to do with that job, what you've done. Nothing. The two shouldn't even coincide. But they got you now. Now that piece of the system is over with. Mm-hmm. So, like you said earlier, for those of us that escaped that, we got to find another foothold or another track to put them in. Mm-hmm. Because their fear. Okay, so now he's leaped over this. Now we're going to introduce this male feminist movement to try to get them to go homosexual. Mm-hmm. Because the black man is less threatening. That's another way of control.
Absolutely.
If I'm a homosexual, you look at me, you look at me coming down the street, and that don't scare you. That don't scare you as another race of people. When I'm doing nothing but what you try to do. And really, to be honest with you, you guys are the murderers. You guys have been the murderous society, but you want to call us violent. And you want to defeminize us because we're your fear. And these things that we're talking about, and we're specifically talking about the family and the family dynamic and tearing us up and all of that other stuff. The guys out there, men, you got to be men. I can't stress this enough. You got to be men.
Gotta be. You have to be.
You can't fall for the okie doke because it's around every corner that you turn. You go 2 steps, there's a pitfall that they got designed for you systemically to destroy us. So we're gonna move on to the.
Can I say something, because you touched on something, and I'm not big on the blame game.
Okay.
Right, and I'm not big on pointing the finger. Okay. I'm big on pointing the finger in.
That's right.
And so if I could speak to your audience just to say this, you said something a little while ago, and I didn't want to interrupt what you were saying, but we have to take back our how we teach our kids.
That's right. That's right.
This you don't have to put your kid in public school if you don't want to. Mm-hmm. Right? What is a public school? Mm-hmm. Everyone is being subjected to the same exact gibberish. Mm-hmm. You got people that's teaching you. Some of them are very good, but it's not many of them, right? There's more people that's there just to get their check because they went to college, they got C's, get degrees. I don't know, but what I'm saying is they put the LGBTQ whatever that is agenda in there. You don't have to. Your kid don't have to be subjected to that, right? That could be grounds for you to remove your kid from that school.
That's right.
And do a little leg work. Another thing I want to bring up is we have to begin to understand our true worth, right?
Without a doubt.
Well, what I mean by that, you stated that they gave us black hips. They didn't give us shit. Excuse me.
Go ahead.
They haven't given us anything, right? They try to mute us.
As much as possible.
They try to mute us, but what we do is they do this, and we tuck our tails. We put up this big fight, this big stink
for 2 days, and then
then they here you go,
right,
and then we mute again. But still, that's just like you sweeping your rug here. You take all the dust that you get off your floor and just put it under your rug and put your rug back down.
It's still there.
It's still dust on your floor.
That's right.
Right? It's the same thing. And I say this on this video, Anthony, that your audience should understand that we are bigger than this. We are done playing the blame game. As a father, I'm done playing the blame game.
And I commend you for that.
It's happening because of me.
That's right. That's right. That's right.
Right? We're not getting lauded and applauded as black people because we allow them to treat us how they decide that we should be treated. Instead of us demanding that we are here just like you are here. I'm special because I know I'm special. I get up and work when the lights are off and you in your damn pajamas. I'm working on myself to bigger myself, to better myself. So any person that I come in contact with, I'm trying to uplift them.
Okay.
We're only one of us doing it. We look at your social media profile. You post something on that positive, you get 1 like, 2 like, 3 like. You put some up there negative.
Right.
You're gonna break the internet.
That's right.
Why is that?
That's right.
It's a diabolical plan to diffuse us.
That's right.
To give us this false sensation of love when it's all turmoil and grief, and we laud obituaries, people dying. Every time I turn on Facebook or IG, somebody praising somebody dead, right? But I didn't see you praising that person the day before when he was alive, when they can hear you. And so I just wanted to touch on that, man, because you made me, as we have our dialogue, a bunch of thoughts come into my head to touch on, but I refuse to interrupt you. But it's so important for your audience to know that we all fighting a war. This is a war.
That's right.
And we cannot win the war isolated.
That's right.
Because if we by ourselves, we're an easy target. But if we come together, though, we come together and we view this thing and we attack this thing as one, we can do so much damage. And it starts with us, within us. We can't point the finger at the government.
That's right.
We can.
That's right.
We can. We can't point the finger at them because they don't care. Their family is good. Their neighbor's family is good. Their cousins is good. Right? This is black wealth. This is white wealth. This is Jewish wealth. This is Spanish wealth. Whatever you want to call it.
Right.
But I go to Phoenix, get some information, try to bring it back to my people in the Chi-Town. They don't want to hear none of that.
Well, and I'm
talk to me.
I'm gonna say this, and I want you guys to hone in. I want you guys again to open up your third eye to just what was said. You see, this is what prompted this channel in the first place. You can't be always all out here barking about what the problems are and don't come with the solutions. That's why we own this camera right here. And we're going to devote the remainder of our time to talking about solutions now. Because that's what we always want to do with anything you're going through. What's the solution? How can we take back our black families? Well, for number one, we can start to deprogram what's been put into us and start to think and make firm decisions about your life, right? What can we do? What talk to me about where can we go? When we talked about all of these issues, we know togetherness is the key. And I'm gonna let you come on in, and togetherness, number one, is the key. How do we all come together? How do we deprogram, and how do we now start to move forward into turning this thing, flipping this whole thing all around? Unless there's something else you want to touch on before.
I want to touch on this because it's something that you're very passionate about, and I know that you have a lot to say about it. It's emotional intelligence, right? We hear these things that we portray as problems. We don't come with no solutions. We regurgitate the problem, right? We make sure everybody knows the problem, but nobody's coming with a solution. The person that's valuable in the world is the person that knows the problem, but they ain't focusing on that. They heard that already once. They don't want to regurgitate that. They want to concentrate on what's the solution. So the bigger the problem, right, or the greater the solution, or the quicker the solution that you have, makes you more valuable.
That's right.
But you can't develop a logical solution if you don't have the proper emotional intelligence.
That's right.
Anything that comes your way and that's negative and you down and out and playing the blame game and pointing the finger at the system, how you gonna address it properly?
There you go. And I'm glad. I hope you guys caught that, because that's one of the solutions. Number one, this is right here. Anything that happens to you, you got to realize it's happening because of you. And you got to point the fingers inward. The more we can learn to point the fingers inward, each one of us as individuals, and stop doing this, we can come together. We can flip this thing upside down. But too many people out here don't have emotional intelligence, don't have critical thinking skills. As soon as something happens to them, it's, oh, well, you did this, and you did that. And you were the cause of this, and you were the cause of that. When you're not realizing that nothing is happening to you. It's happening because of you. You have to learn how to change your behaviors. You have to learn how to pick up a book and go and read personal development. Develop yourself each and every day. Turn off the TV. Stop feeding into the propaganda that they're laying out for you every day. Stop exposing your children to that every day. Get them a library card. Take them to the library. Have them pick out books. Make sure that they're reading a couple of hours a day. I guarantee you, if you form that habit, it will soon not leave. They will be book scholars before you know it. Okay? We got to stop the finger pointing, and we got to accept accountability for ourselves, each and every one of us. So in this subject, how we flip this and say, what's the solution? That's one of my solutions. And we've been talking about this throughout this video. We've been kind of giving you the solutions as we went, but bringing up a good point. It's like, man, if we wanted to, the government couldn't do anything to us. Why? Because if we came together like this, and those elected officials that we send to the White House and we send in these local offices, if we are banded together and we each responsible for ourselves, when we send these people to these offices, we can make a demand now that they go and do what we sent them to office for. But we have no political power because we out here, half of us ain't voting, half of us are not doing anything to affect change, and then we just voting people into these offices, and they're not going to have your concerns in mind. They're not going to change the child support rule. They're not going to change that type of stuff. So we got to be more responsible. We have to be.
And here's a challenge I will give to your audience. Next time you face with a situation where you want to point the finger in and watch what happens for the person that you're having a discussion with. 9 times more than 9 times out of 10, they're gonna probably bring you down and say, no, it's not all your fault. Right? They're gonna lighten it because they won't be used to someone saying it's on me. This is not normal. It's hard to turn your hand in. Make sense?
It's hard.
Yeah. So what the person will generally do is they won't let you take the brunt of what you're fessing up to for yourself.
They'll be caught off guard.
That's the humanistic part. That's humanity. It's the way it's set up. This is how humanity is set up. Each one teach one.
That's right.
You see your brother down, you pick him up. This is natural laws. Right? This is natural laws. It's born. These are laws that come with you when you come out the womb. Right? It's some things that come with you automatically.
Right.
And this is one. And so I just think as men to right this ship, to better it, is just to be more conscious, more aware from the beginning. Right? It's all this systemic thing happens from early on, man. When we don't feel love in the crib, when we little, we looking for it early.
That's right. Yeah.
Right? And so we can get these girls that they wouldn't feel in love either.
That's right.
So we getting together. So two broken people coming together as adults.
Yes.
This is happening as 10-year-olds.
Yeah. Yes.
And we go up. And by the time we get to Mr. Right or Mrs. Right, we don't know how to handle it because we done had Mrs. Wrong, Mrs. Wrong, Mr. Wrong, Mr. Wrong, Mr. Wrong, Mr. Wrong, Mr. Wrong, Mr. Wrong. These mean Mr. Right, Mrs. Wrong.
That's right.
So we ain't got no emotional intelligence.
None.
We don't have the principles and the discipline and all these things that goes all together, man.
Right. Right.
We don't have no sociology principles how to relate to people because we've been broken.
That's right.
Since day one. So what happens to the guy that gets out and finds his earning potential, finds his niche, goes to college? What happens to him when he comes back into that area?
Out of place now.
Yeah, you bettered yourself, but what happened to the women you were dating and you had kids by?
Yeah.
They still mentally there.
Yep.
Right? The government has a stranglehold on them, which brings back the Great Divide.
Great Divide. Great Divide.
Brings it all back. And so we just have to be aware And with them stripping our women,
Mm-hmm.
if you are watching this video and you have been succumbed to the system of taking your child's father away from your child, you are doing your child a great disservice. Your child needs the father for discipline, for protection, to hold them accountable, and if nothing else, to know what he does want out of himself or his child, or what he doesn't want from his child or himself. So you're doing your child a great disservice, and I ask you to look within yourself, because the problem lies in yourself. Has nothing to do with that man. The relationship didn't work. The child should not suffer because y'all relationship didn't work. God bless you. Anthony's podcast is off the chain. Top dog is the man. Thank you.
Yeah, man. Thank you so much, man, for joining me. You know, it's always an honor and a pleasure for us to get together, man, and chop it up and just create. Just create. I'm going to end this out by doing this thing like I always do. We talk about builders and destroyers all the time.
Yes.
When we get together, it's always about building.
Always.
Always about transformation, taking flight. You know, not just circling the tarmacs, but taking flight. Taking flight, going to the next level. Always, it's always about going to the next level. And I would urge you, if you don't have anybody like that in your life, you got to change your circle immediately, because this man is very influential to each other. We keep each other going. We keep each other lifted. We call each other, I'm down, I'm right back up once I talk to him, and vice versa.
Absolutely. Accountability partners.
Accountability partners, indeed. Okay, so, man, this podcast, man, this channel, this YouTube channel, excuse me about that. This YouTube channel, man, is all about, I said it in the beginning, man. We truly just want everybody to win. It's rare that you find men like us. We want everybody around us to win so much so that sometimes we neglect even ourselves.
Absolutely.
This is how much we want people to win. That we sometimes neglect ourselves, and we have to be selfish sometimes to go back to ourselves and say, it's me time right now. I deserve some time right now. I've been out here grinding and trying to help this person and that person. I got to go. I got to do. You need them type of people around you. Elevate yourself. Motivate. Find a mentor. Find a channel like this. It don't have to be this one. Find something that elevates you and motivates you every day. Let me ask you a question, and I'm going to start asking this often. How many people in your circle have sharpened you today? How many people that you hang around have sharpened you on today? If the answer is 0, you're in big trouble. You need to find somebody that sharpens you. You know, they say iron sharpens iron. Okay, it's not iron. Iron can't get sharpened without another piece of iron. You got to get around that. If you want to dominate, a lot of y'all out here competing. Competing for what? If you're dominating a certain space, there is no competition.
None. I never, you know what? I never got the I never got the purpose when I'm writing business plans and doing business stuff. They want me to worry about my competitors.
Mm-hmm.
I never got that.
Right.
The competitors just let me know there's a market for what I'm doing.
That's it.
My job is to get their customers by building a better product.
That's it.
That has better things, that can do what it's supposed to do better.
That's it.
Why am I thinking about the competition in the first place?
But you got to remember, you think differently. You think differently than the system.
Right.
They want everybody to think in the system. When you think outside the system, that's where your Facebooks and that's where your Googles and that's where all of those companies come from that came in and snuck up behind them. That's where Ubers and all that stuff coming from. People, the system was completely fine with you taking a taxi cab everywhere you went. But Uber said, Uber thinking like you. That's not no competition for me. I'm finna come in and dominate that sector. And what happened? Taxi cabs are virtually out of business right now because of that thought process. But the box wants to have you in that box. There's a ceiling to the box. When you think outside the box, there is no ceiling. That's why you saying, I don't understand that. Because you're not limited by the box.
Right.
You're not limited by the box.
Right.
When you're limited by the box, you can't have an Uber.
Right.
You can't have a Google. You can't have a Netflix. What happened to Blockbuster? They gone.
They was in the box.
They was in the box.
They
was worried about competition. They got caught up by the distraction of competition.
Right.
And forgot that the internet age is here. People can stream movies, and Netflix came right on in and put them out of business.
Toys R Us.
Toys R Us. Just countless amounts of things that are going down the tube. They thought in a box, and they were comfortable in that box. Right? So that's a whole nother conversation that we can have, and we can get together and we can build. So I want to thank you guys, as always, for tuning into the channel. Thank you for your generosity. Thanks for taking the time. I know you could have been anywhere in the world on the time that it took for you to watch this video, but you stuck in with us, and it shows me that you're eager to gather in positive information. So we thank you, man. Like, subscribe, share this information, and we thank you from the bottom of our hearts. And until the next time, I'll see you again. Peace.
Comment down below. Let us know what you think. I would love to hear how I did.
That's it.